The first thing we're going to do is remove the negative battery terminal using a 10mm socket. Next, we're going to remove both the driver and the passenger cowl using a T40 Torx bit. Moving to the inside, just like we're going to take the doors off, on both the passenger and driver side, we're going to pop that cover off the kick panel and unplug the door connector. This time, however, we're going to completely remove that connector by sticking a forked body tool behind it and popping it off of the sheet metal. Just above that top bolt on the door strap holder, there's a panel nut. Go ahead and remove that on both sides of the 10mm. Next, we're going to need to separate the kick panel molding from the B-pillar molding. Do this using a body tool in your hands to push the panel towards the seat on both the driver and passenger side. Lastly, we need to release the kick panel underneath the dashboard. There's a few clips holding it in place. Simply push inward as before, and it will separate. Usually, the white clips are going to be left behind on the studs. Locate the 3 of them and remove them from the studs by unscrewing them. You're going to want to just pop these back into the kick panel in their respective locations. If you don't do this, it can make installing the kick panel a little bit more difficult. As previously stated, you're going to want to remove the kick panel on both the driver and the passenger side. Also on the passenger and driver side, moving up the side of the dashboard and using a flat body tool, remove that side panel. Now on just the driver's side, pop the caps off the A-pillar grab handle. There's 2 bolts on the top and the bottom inside those caps holding the A-pillar grab handle on. Go ahead and remove those using a 10mm socket. Using your body tool again, pop off that tweeter cover. Next, just grab that grab handle really firmly and give it a really good tug to release it from the pop clips inside. Let's move down beneath the dashboard again. Now that these kick panels are out, you can see that on both sides there's 3 factory grounding studs. Using a 10mm socket, install the grounding ring terminal coming out of the back of the relay on the passenger side bottommost grounding stud. Zip tie our relay to one of the factory harness bundles, and then pull the rest of our leads up and zip tie them as well. Just make sure that you run the leads from our relay behind the passenger door connector, not in front of it, simply to ensure that there's no interference between our harness and that connector. Next, let's take that power lead and our short light lead, which is the passenger side, and we're going to run that up the side of the dashboard and through the A-pillar seal. Do this by pushing the seal outward and sliding the wires underneath it. Now, you're going to want to make sure that they're fully inside and that you're not pushing that seal outward at all, as this could interfere with the door mechanism. We're going to mirror what we did on the passenger side on the driver's side with the other grounding ring terminal on the bottommost driver's side grounding stud. Now let's run our other light lead out, and this time instead of the power lead, we're going to have the switch lead. Just run that up behind the dashboard and curl it up next to the tweeter. Go ahead and zip tie our grounding lead to the factory grounding leads on the driver's side. Let's run that switch lead up the A-pillar and zip tie it to the factory harness. Let's finish up by tucking that wire harness up underneath the dashboard, zip tying it in a couple places to the factory harness, tuck it behind that carpet, and then tuck it between the dashboard and the center console where they meet, and just mirror that on the passenger side. We're pretty much finished up on the interior now, so let's go ahead and replace all those interior panels in the reverse order in which we took them out. Let's go ahead and wipe down that A-pillar grab handle with some isopropyl alcohol, just to make sure that we get off any dirt, grease, grime, or detail spray, anything that could prevent the 3M adhesive from sticking. We're going to crush our 3M primer at the dot, give it a shake, brush it on like you would a felt pen, and we're going to go ahead and place that switch wherever's good for you. Let's finish up the wire harness installation by running that power lead through the foam divider in the firewall, down behind the factory fuse box. Locate that fuse in the factory wire harness clips. There's going to be some space in there, so it's easily accessible if it needs to be changed, and put that power ring terminal on the battery. Don't forget to reinstall the negative battery terminal. Let's pop both those cowl pieces on. gasket down on each side and place respectively the passenger and driver Apex Pro mounts. Grab your M6 bolts, put a dab of Loctite, slide them down, and get them installed. Now, do make sure not to use an impact on this, as they are aluminum bolts and could be stripped out easily, so use a hand tool and take your time. Install those TYRI U brackets with the supplied M8 hex bolt, which tightens up with a 10mm open-ended wrench. Lastly, let's set that light down. Install it using TYRI supplied hardware, which tightens up using a 13mm socket and open-ended wrench. Plug it in, align it how you desire, and tighten everything up. If you have any issues whatsoever during the installation or operation of your Apex Pro system, please reach out to us. Email us at support@offroadconcepts.com.